Hello, my friends. It's Manny Rodriguez. Welcome to another episode of Deep True Crime. We're going to continue the Gabby Petito story. You've probably been following this story along a little while now. It's been a news sensation like no other. And something that has come out that you can assure yourself the Utah police are probably going to be held responsible for this, because come to find out, when the dispatcher called the Moab City Police to go and check out what eyewitness said was Brian slapping Gabby, you ask yourself, how was this guy able to actually get away from this whole scene without being arrested? Listen up, I want you guys to hear this.
For the RP, maybe you're CPA. Do you have a phone number for the RP? Maybe you're still landline and a location where our victim's at?
Phone number is name's. I'm not sure where it's at, but the female who got hit, they both, the male and the female, both got into the van and headed north. Continuing, attempt to locate, time lapse of about probably 40 seconds. RP states seen a male hit a female, domestic. He got into a white Ford Transit van, has a black ladder on the back, Florida plate of. The van turned right onto Main Street from Moonflower Market and headed north onto Main Street, 1638.
You can hear right there when the dispatch calls it in. I mean, Brian should have been arrested right there. Why didn't they arrest him right there? And so now we're left wondering, what would this be like today had Utah police done more? And if you follow my streaming, you know that I shared this recently, that they were actually going to be doing an investigation into the Moab City Department on this whole matter. And so now we're left to try to pin this to where is Brian. And a few things have come up that I definitely wanted to hit on while I'm on this. Not only should the police have done more, that's a given, right? That's just a given. The Utah police should have definitely done more. But I mentioned yesterday how Dog the Bounty Hunter was actually going to be helping in this case. Well, come to find out, Roberta Dirty Laundrie called the cops that he was at their residence. Now, help me understand why they would do that. Why would they do that? And here is, if I could get rid of that little ad. So Brian Laundrie's family called the police after Dog the Bounty Hunter showed up on their property. Why would they do that? Why would they do that? And really, all Dog wanted to do was say, hey, we want to bring him in alive. We want to bring him in alive so that you can actually see him another day. Because this guy is gone, right? Brian is long gone. The police have even said they're scaling back their search in the Carlton Reserve. I hate to say that I was right when I really feel like I was right, but I don't believe he was there. You guys spent so much money and resources, and you don't even have a trace. Now, the police did show up at his home today. Was the FBI there today, I believe, to see if they can get any evidence that they can match to some DNA. Maybe they found that in the Carlton Reserve. We don't really know all of that. But when it comes to Dog the Bounty Hunter, who was just trying to knock and say, hey, we want to bring him in alive, the Northport Police Department responded to a 911 call from Roberta about the matter. Why would she do that? Why would she do that? I don't understand that. I don't understand that. Was she trying to get him in trouble? Really, Roberta, you're the one that's probably going to be in trouble after all the money your city has spent in this so-called Carlton Reserve. You said your son went to. And so here we are. You are even calling on Dog the Bounty Hunter. So basically no one should be out there, right? I get it. And the sad part for you is they're not going away until you give some answers. People today were out front of their home with bullhorns and microphones, magnaphones, or whatever you want to call those big old speaker things, and asking, where is Brian? We want justice. You know, they're going to be relentless until someone speaks. And Dirty Laundrie needs to speak. So I love this fact. And this is another reason why I believe that he is not at the Carlton Reserve. So an expert has shared his thoughts, even though that Brian is known to possibly be pretty good in the wilderness. He says that Brian could never survive the alligator-infested Florida swamps. Because that's where they're saying he's at, is at the Florida swamps. That's where Carlton Reserve, that's where a lot of the swampage is. Right there next to it, I don't know the name of it. But so here everyone is looking in these dirt-infested swamps. You're getting rid of nature as fast as you can start nature, basically. And so now we just want to know, where is he? Where is he? Now, this is where Dirty Laundrie should be able to help. Don't you agree? Dirty Laundrie should be able to help. And that's where we need to find this guy. We need to find this guy. It's just like all these resources that are constantly going into it, and no one has any answers. No one has any answers. Nope, we don't. No one has answers. It's only a matter of time before we will have some answers if we find him. The autopsy results still have not come out. I'm hoping any day we'll know a little more about how she was killed. We don't even know that much, do we? We don't even know that much. And so now we're left begging for answers for this family. We all want answers for this family. And so, as I mentioned, they're scaling back on this search because no one knows. You're already wasting so much time and money in that place. It's ridiculous that you haven't already scaled back sooner. But I get it. They said he was there, and you're going to go exhaust all energies you can to see if this is true. Well, hopefully you at least have some type of DNA because, you went to Brian's home to find some stuff that may have some DNA matching to it. Maybe a pair of underwear he's worn before or something. But we need to get some answers because you guys have not been helping with this matter at all. I want to share something. I don't know if you guys heard about this, but I came across this article today where Gabby was in this music video. Gabby Petito was in the music video Irreplaceable. It's a music video for Sandy Hook. If you guys are not too familiar with the Sandy Hook, it was the big school shooting that happened. I don't even know what was I don't even remember exactly what year it happened. This article may say it. don't think so. But she was in this music video based on Sandy Hook School when she was 14 years old. And it was a music video titled Irreplaceable. And this was to represent the Sandy Hook massacre and all the children. And the video was all about violence against children. And of course, we would never, I mean, it's amazing that someone can ever bring themselves to do this, but yet it's happened multiple times. And it's the worst thing that I think that can happen. And so she and her two younger siblings, her two younger brothers, appeared in the 2013 video, whose song was produced and sung by fellow Long Island native Deb Henson, who told The Sun that its inspiration was the school shooting that left 26 people dead, including 20 kids in Newtown, Connecticut. You guys can Google that. You will find it pretty easy if you wanted some information. But I thought that, you know, this is also part of the amazing human being that was taken from this world so soon. She was talented in many ways. That's why she was able to put together this wonderful video, already created a great following on her Instagram as she was starting out on this journey for Nomadic Static, which was her YouTube channel, as they were documenting their travels across the country and visiting all these state parks. And so here we are, still no answers as to where this Brian Laundrie is at. There's a lot of speculation, but nothing is panning out. But the experts have said there's no way that he can survive in the alligator-infested Florida swamp. That goes to there's no way he's in the Carlton Reserve, and there's no way he's there this long. There's no way. There's no way that he's there this long. I don't understand why they're not doing more about this right now. Like they need to be, okay, now, and maybe this is what, and I'm just speculating, but maybe this is where they can say, you're Roberta, Christopher, Brian's family, you told us that he was in the Carlton Reserve. 25,000 acres. You told us he went in there. We combed through the whole place and didn't find any trace of evidence. Now you're going to be faced with charges. Now you're going to be faced with whatever. Get them to talk. Do whatever you can to get them to talk. And that's what I hope for. That's exactly what I'm hoping for. That they get him in, they get him alive, and he talks. Because that's what he's not doing. He is not talking. He is not talking at all. And that's what I mean, that's where we need answers. We need someone to share with us what is it that is going on, and how are they not arrested? How is the family not arrested yet? And so now you got all these protesters shouting into megaphones outside Laundrie's house, saying your silence is guilt. I have to say, I agree with that. The fact that you're not saying anything is very, very troubling, very concerning, very concerning. And so now, because hey, now let's scale back on this search, because he's not there. He's not there. That's obvious that he's not there. And I want to share that I really appreciate, you guys know they had the funeral yesterday. And let me tell you about, I'm a step parent. I'm a stepdad. My wife, granted, I'm the only dad he's really known because his dad died young. But I am a father, but I'm also a stepfather. I don't ever say that ever to him. And I've never said the word stepfather in front of him, stepdad, or anything like that. But I have to say, as a father, I am a father of two. And as a stepfather, I am a stepfather of two. I Yes, that's 4. I have to say the funeral and the dad and the stepdad, the way they talked at the funeral, and oh my gosh, my heart. I was overjoyed with the way, number one, with the way the father talked about the stepfather. Oh my gosh, it was wonderful. And the things they were saying about Gabby herself and what she would want. She wouldn't want people to be sad for her, you know. And it's like, I believe this so much. There's not been a person that I've said something to that says, I don't know what you're talking about. Her father, Joe Petito, said to the packed crowd at the funeral, the entire planet knows this woman's name. And she's inspired a lot of women and a lot of men to do what's best for them first. Put yourself first. And do it now while you have time. I love those words. I love those words. He said, I couldn't be more proud. If there's a relationship that might not be the best for you, leave it now. Leave it now. Put yourself first, right? Put yourself first. I could not agree with that more. Could not agree with that more. And he says, I don't want you guys to be sad. Gabby didn't live that way. That wasn't her way. As a matter of fact, if you knew Gabby, she was always a pretty happy girl. People gravitated toward her. Her nature was always to smile and treat everybody kindly. Rest in peace, Gabby. You were a wonderful girl taken way too soon. And he spoke of her blue eyes, those ridiculous blue eyes. They kept her from getting in trouble at home when she was growing up. Wow. You know, people were hugging outside the funeral home. It was a wonderful, wonderful scene. And if you got to sit here with me while we watched it together, thank you for experiencing that with me. I really do appreciate that. And so, yeah, the musical video was in 2013, Annie. Did I say something by mistake there? Sometimes you just get to talking, but I thought I read it just that way, but you never know. I'm just talking so fast sometimes. But I mean, I never heard of the musical, but now I definitely want to hear of the musical, right? I mean, I'm definitely going to be looking for this musical. So now we're trying to find out where Brian is, and I was drawn to see how, you know, so many people were talking great things, you know, including both dads and her father of her stepfather. I was just overjoyed by just to see what that was. You know, Annie, I was asking, I couldn't quite remember when the Sandy Hook massacre was. Was that also 2013? The video was 2013, but I couldn't quite remember when the Sandy Hook, and of course I can Google it at any time, but while I'm on here, I was trying to remember and I couldn't remember. But I love how they got together, you know, up there, the father and the stepfather, and was sharing, you know, some powerful words about this wonderful girl. And so now we're going back a little to see, could more have been done when they were pulled over and they were both pulled aside and talked to? Because a lot was said in that interview. A lot was said, and when I say interview, I mean where they were both talked to by the police. And you know, if you watch the video, the police says to Gabby something along these lines that we're not going to take you in or something. We're not going to press charges on you, because there was proof that she might have done something to Brian. And truth is, the 911 call said that Brian was slapping her. That's what the 911 said call. So how do we get to this part where he says to Gabby, we're not going to press charges on you, or something along those lines. We're not going to take you in for this, or something along those lines. And in the end, they just separate them too. You got to check it out. But there was enough proof that he had slapped her. Why didn't they arrest him? Why didn't they arrest him right there? She would most likely be alive today had they done something. And so now there's an investigation going on in reference to that whole stop in Moab, Utah. And so we'll see what happens as we move forward on this. But there's not much that's going to happen if we don't get Brian. And that's just the truth. Even if they get a warrant out for his arrest for killing her, until they find Brian, in my hopes, alive, so he can pay for this. But if they don't find him, who knows? I mean, this is continuously the biggest story in the news right now that is ongoing. It might have lost a little momentum on its own, because until they actually find something big, the autopsies, definitely people are waiting for that. Until they get Brian, there's not much that's going to keep happening, is there? There's just not much that's going to keep happening until they get Brian. Gotta find Brian. And so now we just wait to see what happens next. What happens next? I am constantly looking for really just in like hopes that any minute they're going to say Brian's been caught, or Brian's been seen an actual something that's substantial, so, you know, something. I mean, you keep hearing people say that Brian's been spotted here, Brian's been spotted there, and so it's just a matter of time, like, until something happens. But I wanted to just bring you that newest update in reference to the actual call from the dispatcher to the Moab City Police, sharing about this, and then getting the van pulled over. And you guys can see on my channel, and I'll link it below. Hopefully I don't forget to link it below. I'll link it below, the actual, when they pulled him out. And I just wonder, could more have been done right there when they pulled him over? We'll just have to wait and see as more come out. My friends, I'm Manny Rodriguez. Thank you for joining me this afternoon. If you are on live, thank you for watching the replay. If you got some value, please click that like button. That'll help get it in front of more people, because at the end of the day, we need to get the word out and get Brian caught. All eyeballs matter right now. All eyeballs matter for him. Any of the missing people that we can bring back to light, it matters. Now, I don't normally like to share stories that does not have the ending yet. And right now, we don't have an ending. The reason why I'm sharing this is to help get more eyeballs on this story, to help try to find Brian. If everyone's out there trying to find Brian and being on the lookout, now we can learn how to better find more missing creepers who are wanted for something. Because as we know, they're out there. I wish we could live in a perfect world, but that's just not going to be possible ever again. That's just not going to be possible. My friends, thank you for being a part of this today, and I look forward to sharing with you any updates. If there's any particular story you would like me to cover where I go deep in true crime, let me know. Just comment below. I'm happy to help. Have a great day. Peace.